Hi, today I thought we'd go ahead and do some little different video here because today I actually I got something today in the mail. This is going to be a very interesting video because it's been a while since I was dealing with kind of soldering and that kind of project. So I actually got something little here today, something very, I think it's a simple thing, and I thought I'm kind of like a little bit interested in this kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna change the camera angle a little bit and do an unboxing, and then after that we just jump into the soldering process of building up this little device here. Let's go ahead and check it out. So let's go ahead and open this up here. Of course I need a unboxing knife here, well, unwrapping knife, so to speak. Let's go ahead and see. I've been waiting for a couple of weeks for this to show up in my mail though, but finally today it arrived. I was thinking for something simple. So this is what all the kits come in. Well, most components come in this type of envelope here to avoid static and all that kind of shit. So this is actually I don't know if you can see this. Yeah, that's right. TV Be Gone. Do you know what this is? I will tell you what it is. It's actually kind of like a remote like this. Well, not with a lot of buttons on there, but something that works when pressing a button. Actually, you can pretty much turn off any TV there is. So this is actually, I think this is going to be a fun little project. There's no instructions included here, but I think I have as much knowledge about components and circuit boards and all that kind of shit, so I think I can manage to solder this anyway. And I was thinking kind of like this. Let's go ahead and open this up and kind of like look on what type of components we have in there. Okay, so I'm sorry about the camera angle here. I hope you can see this anyway. Let's go ahead and see if this is a Ziploc bag. Yeah, that's what it is. Wow, there's a lot of stuff here, that's for sure. Got a lot of stuff here. A battery box. Where the hell did it went? There you go. IR LED. Let's just go ahead and put it all out here. This is pretty much what's in the box here. We got some resistors. What else do we have? Resistors. We got some IR LEDs here. That's kind of cool. There should be 4 of them actually. Yeah, that's what it is. This is what is supposed to be a power on LED or something like that. I don't know if I really need that. Little micro switch right there. Gotta need some focusing here. I don't know how well this is picking up, but this is just a... I'm sure that if you're into electronics you have seen these micro switches before. Surface mounted on the circuit board actually. Got some capacitors, electrolytic ones, and this is the 6.3 volts right there. We got a lot of stuff here. A little ceramic capacitor right there, a tiny little one right there. I don't know if you can see how tiny this actually is here. This is just come on now, we need some focusing. There you go. This is just a tiny little one right there. Yeah, that's what it is. This is, I think these are for actually hooking this thing up to some external programming device or something like that. I'm 100% sure I will not be necessarily needing this, but I think I will use it anyway. You never know what I will come up with in the future anyway. Then we got the microcontroller right here. This is just a normal 8-pin right there. This is pre-programmed actually with all the TV codes for the most common TVs, I suppose. So this is actually the socket for it. So that's kind of cool if you need to take it out for programming or actually swap this one for another one or something like that in the future. You never know. So these components are actually what's needed for this type of project here. Then we finally have the circuit board itself. I was actually thinking about before I go ahead and solder this one up here, I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can find some type of enclosure to put this one in, because I'm not really happy with having the components on here and it will kind of be fragile or something like that. So I will see if I can find some type of enclosure to put it in there. Something, this can actually be outside though, but I want actually this inside of something. So this is what it looks like. Nothing fancy at all. Just kind of like, I mean, it can't be more simple than this. I mean, by looking on this circuit board, I can already see that there's supposed to be 4 resistors on the circuit board. I only got 3 here. So by looking on this circuit board, I can actually see that I'm pretty much sure I will not need the R2 right there, because I think it's bypassed. So that's pretty much what I think. So I think I'm gonna be using the R3, I'm gonna be using the R5, I'm gonna be using the R1 right there. The R2 I'm not going to be using. Also, I see that this is just what I thought it was about to be. This little guy right here is actually for programming the IC unit that is going to be mounted right here, but that's not really necessary, because you can actually take this one away as well. This one, because you have the socket, right? But I will solder this one in anyway, because I like things to be nice and clean. And if I'm going to find an enclosure on this one, I most likely will not have the capacitor standing upright like this, because I will make the legs a little bit longer and actually bend it like this if possible. If that means I need to skip these pins right here, I will do that. Actually, I will do that, because I can put in the pins later. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna take some time now and look for some type of enclosure. If I don't have anything to build this one in, well, then I go ahead and build it just like it is. This is going to be a very fun project. I'm gonna set up my soldering iron and all that kind of shit right now. So let's go ahead and do this right now. Okay, so this is what a board PCB looks like. First of all, I'm gonna go ahead and put in some few components in here, and I need to use my multimeter to figure out what type of resistors these are, so I know where to use them. So there's actually 3 of them, but they're different values, so I had to figure that out. And since I'm in the EU, European Union, I will be actually using the codes for the EU right there. So that's what one of these specific resistors is for. So what I'm about to go ahead and do now is to put in some few components and start to soldering this up and see what's gonna happen. And by the way, I didn't really find an enclosure, so I will just solder this up for now, just like it is. And if I want to build something more fancy or cooler in the future, I just buy another kit. That's simple as that. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so let's go ahead and solder this. I will put on my fume fan here, so there will be some noise, and probably I will fast forward a little bit. Just make sure you put in the components in the right direction, especially the capacitors, the electrolytic capacitors, because there's a positive side and a negative side, and you gotta make sure that's right. And also when you put in the IC right there. There we go. That's the very first few components right there. I'm gonna go ahead and cut these away like this. Don't do this before you're very sure that you have done it. Put the components on the right way. So I'm going to go ahead and fill it up with more components, and we're going to get back with some more soldering here. Starting to get finished here. It's looking pretty good. It's only the IR LEDs left here to do, and those are actually two different colors, and if you don't know very much about the electronics, you don't know the difference in between them. You see, these blue ones are actually kind of like flood. They are pointing straight forward like this, with these ones are more like I would say an 180-degree angle or something like that. So in this case, the blue ones always goes in the middle like this, because you want the flood to be in the middle and the angled one to be on each side like this. If you don't do this right, in the right way, so to speak, this will not work very good. So this is why this is doing like this. Something else that is very important is that you got to make sure that there is a positive and negative side of this. You got to make sure that you put this the way it should be, because it's always the longer leg. The longer leg that is the positive side of this. So if you do this wrong, this will not work. So I'm about to put these ones in on the PCB right here and solder them up, and what's left then is actually to put in the IC right here and hook up the battery pack. Then I think I'm pretty good to go. And I'm not really sure if I will put in this one just yet. I'm not really sure about that. So let's go ahead and continue this, and I'm excited to try this out and see if it will work. So now what's left to do here is actually to put in the battery pack. So I'm gonna cut the cables to length, and gonna see if I can get a focus right here. There we go. As you can see, the components are pretty much put in the way they should be. This resistor right here next to the switch here is actually the one for whether I'm in the US or EU. So as I'm in the European Union right here, I have to have this one because the codes will be more specific for Europeans television sets and all that kind of shit. So I guess by looking at this, I guess I can do a modification here, pretty simple. I can actually put in a simple mod here, as it looks like. So I can choose just by a little switch, something similar to this one right here, whether I want to use the US or the European one just by a flick of the switch. So, but I have no intentions of doing that right now, so I just solder in the resistor right there. This is starting to look pretty good here, and as I said, I will actually cut the cables now and put them in here, so, and put on some batteries and see if this will work. So what I will go ahead and do after I tested this one is to put some hot glue on here and just attach it on the battery pack like this. Before I do that, I want to make sure that this one is actually working here, because it could be I have done something wrong, I have done some mistakes or something like that, and I need to take out some components, or in worst case, maybe some of the components are broken and I need to replace them. So I will not glue this on here until I'm 100% sure this one actually works. So I'm about to go ahead and put in the IC right here. Sorry about the auto-focusing noise here. Oops. As you can see here, this is very important right here, because you have a positive and a negative side here. You have a little dot in the corner here. That means you have the positive side right there. And if you're looking on this one right here, you have a little notch there, and that's where the corner of the positive side is supposed to be right there. So in this case, this one is actually going in like this. And you have to be very careful when putting in this one, because you always have to bend the legs a little bit to the middle. Not very much, just a little bit, so that the legs fit the socket. Something like this. Now you make sure you put it in the right way. Do not do this with any type of force. If everything is right, you just place it in there, give it a little pressure, and it goes in immediately. So this is exactly what it should look like. You got a little notch right there, well, a little circle on the positive side right there. So now I will put in the batteries of this machine and see if this is going to work. I am pretty confident about this, because I would be very disappointed in myself if this is not working. Such a simple thing to build. It's already blinking, the LED, as you can see. So if I'm about to press the button here, the camera will pick up. Oh, you can actually see it's working. It's sending files, codes right now. So it will turn itself off in a couple of minutes. Perhaps it will turn any TV off in a matter of somewhere in between 2-3 seconds to approximately 15-20 seconds at the very most, I believe. This will keep on flashing for a couple of minutes, so I will not bother about that right now. So as you can see, it turned itself off right now. I press the button again and it starts to sending codes. So I think this is pretty awesome actually. So just temporarily I put a piece of tape on here so I can go inside and see if this is actually gonna work. So let's go ahead and do the test. Okay, I set up my very old television here. It's a Samsung right there. This one is probably 10 years old or so. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on if it works. Sorry about the autofocusing noise here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and push the button right here and see how long it takes. Now. This is so cool. Wow, that is amazing right there. Okay, let's go ahead and turn it on, back on again. A click, one more click. There you go. This is the best hack. This is the best gadget I ever built, I think. This is so cool. So I guess it will be a long night outside, I believe. Yeah, because I'm taking this one with me in my car right now. So what I will go ahead and do is actually take away the tape here now that I know it's working. This is kind of like a little bit fragile, I think, but I think this is good for now. And I will also remember to, of course, take out the batteries so I don't do any short circuit or anything like that, because I don't want to mess this up. This is a cool little gadget right here, in my opinion at least. I'm going to cut off a little bit of the cables that I soldered in. Now I think it's pretty much flat on here, and I want to keep it, I don't want to put it like this because you'll have the battery pack covering the signal. So I want this to be as durable as possible. So I want the signal to go pretty much all around. So that's why I want to have it like this. Yeah. So this will be my first build of this one. So if I want to build something else in an enclosure or something like that, I will just go ahead and buy another kit, I guess. So this will be pretty much on here forever as I put some hot glue on there. So this is pretty awesome, I think. This is very awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and put some hot glue on there. This is awesome. This is so awesome. Okay, so this was a very fun build, I must say. Very simple, and I believe this is a perfect beginner's soldering kit, actually. I have to point out something before I end this video here. Don't take this gadget outside and, you know, piss people off. If you do something like that using this device outside in a store or perhaps you know, in public, so to speak, if you turn off their TV, please be kind to turn them back on again, because this can actually this can cause some major problems if they get you, so to speak. So but just for fun, of course, this is kind of like a gadget that is meant to be used for specific things. But if you're using it in a store or something like that, turn the TVs back on again. So that's kind of cool. Anyway, this is I think this is pretty cool. It's a tiny little device here, and it fits perfectly in your pocket or anything like that. It's I think it's just awesome. Nothing can go wrong here, that's for sure. That's very much for sure. So anyway, until next time, take care now. Bye bye then.